What's up, guys? It's your boy Nick, aka Old Laddie, back in the building. This time we're doing a little bit of something different. We're going to try to do a live, a recorded live with me and my beautiful fiance, Tiff, aka the Executive Decision. Uh, I'm going to start off and we're just going to talk about what we're going to try to cover real quick, and I'm going to bring her in the room. So we're just going to basically be doing introductions and talk about what we're going to do on the channel today. And I'm gonna bring her on here, and we're gonna go over what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna bring her on here. Boom! I did it. I did it. Okay. So Tiff, you made it. You're
I'm
officially
here.
on her.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're like super loud, man. Uh,
Well,
so
as long as the background noise isn't playing, that's what matters. So,
oh yeah, I guess. Um, am I super loud
You're good.
to you? I
okay.
mean, you were like blasting, and this is like this headphone is like not even good. So I was like, I know she
It
said be
had
loud.
me on like a 58. So,
I think I was 1,008. I was like, good God, man. All right. So people's met me and they've, you know how bad I am at doing this. So you want to go ahead and introduce yourself first, what you do, and all that other stuff. Like pretty much, like what I was going to go over was like your self history, like any mental health problems or any mental health stuff you do in the field of mental health, and why. What is your reasoning for wanting to help people with
hmm,
either the channel or what you do in your real life, not this fake life stuff.
okay. Well, I'm Tiffany.
Okay.
Kind of went over that. Right now, I work as a target case manager slash interim therapist.
All right.
I'm in my last leg of social work school, master's of social work. Um, let's see. Why did I choose to do this? So, I actually went to school to be an accountant. Did that for X amount of years. Decided, crunching numbers, being stuck in.
Okay.
My name is Tiffany, aka Tiff, the executive decision. Um, so as I was saying before our TV got loud and all that, that's going to be edited out. Anyways, I initially went to school to be an accountant. Did that for years. Decided that being in a cubicle or crunching numbers wasn't helping people the way that I wanted to help people. So, about 7-ish years ago, I decided to go back to school for psychology. Got my psychology degree, bachelor's in psychology. Was going to be a therapist, marriage and family therapist. Decided along that track about the first couple classes in to switch to be a social work degree. So I'm in my last leg of that, my master's degree for social work. Right now, I work at a awesome place that really pushes its employees to do better and nothing's out of reach, so to speak. So right now, I'm a target case manager, interim therapist, um, working on transitioning to full time therapist. Um, and as far as helping people, why I want to do that, is that what you asked?
Yeah, that's it. Like basically, did anything happen to you, like real life, real, like anything
Um,
personal happen to you where you decided that, uh,
there's been quite a few things,
okay,
and we'll get more in depth on that. So some things when I was younger um, happened that not a lot of people know about. Don't really talk a lot about it.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to get personal, just whatever you want to talk
Right.
about, right?
Um, I say the biggest thing is when our kids, things were happening to our kids. We're a blended family. I'm sure he's kind of went over this in some episodes.
Somewhat,
Um,
yeah.
but that kind of pushed me a little bit harder to I already knew I wanted to help others, but that kind of made it like, I know this is what I want to do.
Right.
I know this is what, because I'm not going to lie, the system's broken in all shapes, forms, and ways. But um, just being able to be someone's ear sometimes and listen and let them know that they're heard is a big thing because a lot of people dealing with mental health issues are just, even if you don't have that diagnosis, um, being heard's a big thing.
Hmm.
It makes you feel like you're not invisible. So,
Right.
and you're gonna have to go over the last questions you asked because I done forgot.
Well, the last questions were basically like, your self history is basically like what are you into? Like, what are you? That was more like the first question I asked. Like,
Yeah,
you don't necessarily have to say this is my address where I grew up, but you could say, we're from Central Kentucky. We've
we are.
pretty much been here. Well, I haven't my whole life, but you've been here majority of your life,
I've
and
been in and out. Yeah,
you
majority of
know,
my life.
just stuff like that. You got kids,
Hmm.
things like that, stuff like that.
I have six. Well, two biological, four stepchildren, but they're all my kids.
Right.
They're all our kids. Um, we don't use the word step or um,
You
what's
just,
the other word? Yeah,
I
they're
think
just my kids.
they're like,
Yeah,
what does people, some people say? They're my
bonus kids or
bonus kids.
you
Yeah,
know
that's what
something
they
like
say.
that. We
Yeah.
don't use those words. Was an only child, raised as an only child until I was 16. Um, Found out I had a biological sister. So that kind of threw things off, growing up 16 years as an only child and then finding out you do have a sibling kind of,
You know,
alters your reality a little bit like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on?
yeah, you can tell
Um,
because you don't share very well.
I do too. I share very well to be a single
Yeah.
child. I grew
Right.
up with all my cousins being at my home all the time. So it was like I really wasn't raised as a single, like a only child, I guess, so to speak, because they were
Right.
always there too. I was raised like with a village. So go ahead.
And so what would you say is some of the goals you want to accomplish? Because I know that you're obviously you're not going to be on here as much as I am. Like
I'm gonna try.
we both have full time jobs, but you're going to try to do some of the live, some of these like recorded lives that we're going to try to do, and I'll be on like more of like just the regular standard videos more than you will. But what is some things that you want to accomplish
Mm,
when we do the videos and stuff like that? Like
that's a big question.
I
Um,
know I had a lot of time to think about these
I
things.
know you have, and it's like put me on the spot. Um, I mean, of course, it's going to change throughout, but yes, I will try to be on here as much as possible. Um, my job allows me to work from home a lot, so it is demanding, but it's not like a locational demand. As far as on this channel or on these episodes, just reaching out, letting people know they're not alone. You're not the only one dealing with this. There are people out there that will listen and do care. Society has kind of put this like blanket over that mental illness. Don't talk about it. Don't share
Mm,
it. Don't, keep it to
yeah.
yourself kind of thing. That is
Stigma,
opening up. Yeah, that
horrible
stigma.
stigma.
And it is opening up, but for the most part, it's still there. We were taught for years, don't talk about it. Don't mention it. Just deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
There are
you're weak if you have a mental illness, but basically,
right,
yeah, right.
right. And there are people out there to help. Like I said, the place I work, which I won't name, is an awesome place. I've worked at a couple different places. Um, this one here itself, we meet you where you are. We're not pushy. You discuss what you want to discuss. Um, we will try, of course, to get deeper to get into those fields, so to speak. But the biggest thing is, like I said, just being heard, knowing that anytime, day or night, there are people that will listen,
Yeah.
and you don't have to deal with it alone.
And there's a lot of places like that. It's just not the place she works, but that's the type of thing that you're going to have to go through if you're not seeking or getting any kind of counseling or treatment right now. You're going to have to go try out places and look at reviews and look at things like that and try it out for yourself and find a
And,
good place that fits for you, type
right.
of thing.
And also know that it's not personal if you are seeing a therapist and you're like, hey, we're not jiving. It's
Hmm.
okay. It's okay to ask for someone else. You're not stepping on toes. You're not hurting people's feelings. At the end of the day, a good place is going to recognize that and they want you to be with someone that's going to help you, not someone that's going to hinder you.
Right. Because, sometimes the therapist ain't gonna say it, but they might know that you're not driving and they're not being able to do the best for you and you're not be able to get the best direction from them. So it's just might be
Right.
a two-way
It,
street there.
and I like how you said that because exactly you, as the client, um, not the therapist, you are the driver in that seat. So yeah, I mean, a good therapist will tell you, hey, we're not going in the right direction, or like you said, if the directions aren't you're not equal and are kind of understanding each other. It's okay. At the end
Right.
of the day, it's what you need and what you need to do for yourself. And anybody will understand that that works in the mental health field, or should, I guess I should say.
Right. Well, I guess I'll do mine real quick. I've never really done mine like I think I've done mine like over a couple of different videos here and there, a few little bits and pieces. So my stuff history, I grew up in this area in South Central Kentucky. Uh and then I graduated. I went to the service. I was in the service for like 11 years. Got medically discharged with a different diagnosis. I won't probably go into exactly what I was said, but like I've told in different videos, I have quite a few. Um, it's always been something that's on my mind because I know that there's people who have extremely bad cases of mental, diagnoses. I've been in some, um, I guess it's what's it called, babe, like inpatient.
Like an inpatient, outpatient, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to some of those, and I've seen people who are extremely, extremely bad off, and I've always been able to, have I have problems, but I've seen people who's been really bad, and I've always wanted to try to help people to some degree be able to make stuff. And like she said earlier, we've had problems with our kids go through things, and I've always been wanting to help people somehow not feel the same way that I have. So it's always been a driving force in my life to try to do something to help people, and that's kind of what drove me to do YouTube. That, and I can sit in my chair and research this stuff and you know push it out through the bedroom instead of sitting in class because I've had enough with school. But
Yeah.
my goals
But
with the
school,
chin. Oh, sorry.
sorry, I was going to say school's a lot different than doing this. I mean, yes, you're going to learn ways to
Yeah.
do this, but yeah,
Yeah, and I think
it's
that,
a
like,
lot.
for me, it's a little different because I am a patient, and I've been a patient since I was a child, off and on with a lot of different things. I can't just read a book and say, "Hey, this person's not meeting this requirement in 2 weeks," because some book says you have to meet some time requirement. I don't know. I mean, and that's not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that, like, I'm more wanting to just help people that just need help. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to look back at a book and say, "Hey, they must meet XYZ requirement in order to be treated a certain way." And that's just me. But that's why you're here to help me with my crazy, because you can look back at that stuff and say, "Hey, you got what you got, so let's treat it."
Right.
But as for like my goals with the channel is obviously to be able to reach as many people as possible, send out some good information, and also, like I've told in some other videos, it's also to help people find outlets, because like for me, like stress is a very big trigger for me. If I get too stressed, my a lot of my stuff gets a lot worse. So I'm trying to also give out information, also give out outlets and different things. And then I also want us to be able to, at some point, maybe be able to make some money to be able to donate back to different things. So
Hmm.
that would be a really big thing for me to be able to donate to causes, or, do something, more than just put our money where our mouth is, I guess is basically what I'm trying to say, not just say, "Hey, we would like to help people, but we can't really do anything but just talk." You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that would be a big thing. So that's basically my goals for the channel and myself in a nutshell. So um I kind of wanted to go over like what our ideas were for the segments, if that was all right with you.
Hmm. You'll
Uh,
have to refresh my mind because I think you've got the paper.
well, yeah, well, I have the paper and then I have the things off to the side. So the things that we had was ideas so far, and if you guys being the audience, people out there in YouTube land, want to say, "Hey, this would be a good segment. This would be a good idea. Y'all should think about this." That'd be awesome too. But as of right now, we have what's called Doc in a Box. That would be where, like, I bring a scenario to Tiff, even though she's technically not a doctor. She's our doctor here at Old Laddie. She's the closest thing we got as an acting professional here. So we bring a situation where um, somebody might have major depressive disorder, and what are some ideas that they can do and things they can do, and she can kind of diagnose that situation. Now, granted, this is not real doctor advice. She's
Mm-mm.
not a doctor, so we're trying to put that out there. it's just
Yes.
it's just a
Let's say
funny
why not?
it's just a funny name to put as a segment. It's not. None of us are saying none of us are actual doctors. She's about to get her master, so it's just a funny name.
Doctor
And
may come later, but not right now.
not right now. So right now we're just trying to be funny with our segment names, and then we have trip down the rabbit hole, and that's like a conspiracy thing. You have to remember some of these things is not all about mental health. Some of it is just about us entertaining you. My goal for this channel is to be an infotainment channel. You get information, you get entertained. So it's
It's a good
part of
thing.
the. I don't want just everything to be. And not everything in your life is about just getting information about stuff. You disappeared on me.
I think you sent me to the backstage.
I didn't mean to. I was just standing. I was just sitting here, and then there's like on your soapbox and grind your gears. So it's either something that you really want to talk about, or something's really getting on your nerves. So we might have a segment called that, and where we really just discuss stuff like people who just drive in the left hand lane all the time and never want to get over something silly like that. And then we have Tiff loves to cook, so we have Tiffany's treats. So she's gonna she might share a recipe and cook it. We'll take a picture of it, and we're not really gonna as of right now because we don't have the technology right now to be able to shoot it all in our kitchen and all that other stuff. We'll probably take pictures of it and try it and see, you know, what it tastes like if we really like it. You tell you guys what we think about it and stuff like that. Then we have bring one to the table, and it's or maybe Tiff decides where she's gonna go. I like this rock song from way back in the day, and I bring a hip hop song or something, and then we kind of listen to it or something, or it could be a movie, or it could be news or something, could be anything, right? Then we have daddy duty, which also could be it could also be mommy duty. I didn't really think this one completely out.
Just parent duty.
Parent duty, we could just change it to that, and then we have the forge one is more for it's a more of a men's thing probably when I do by myself, and it's for like whenever kind of when you're thinking like iron sharpens iron when you're talking about like men's health stuff and things like that. But that's all we got right now. I mean, I've thought about, babe. What do you think about any kind of like specific sports or a specific? You know how
Mhm.
I had other channels before. Do you think
Yeah.
anything about that? Star
Yeah.
Wars or something?
Yeah, we might,
I mean, if you guys have any ideas, we would love to hear them. If you have anything that you would like to, mental health
yeah,
stuff that you would like to say, what about a specific? We jump into a specific diagnosis or something, and we give you some
mhm.
information about that or something. You know,
Yeah, and speaking about that, that's another good thing. Um, Going back to earlier, um, I would like to help like with resources. Now, granted, resources are different in each state, just like each county. Like where we live is a small county, so we don't have a lot of resources here, but are still resources. And that's another thing. Excuse me. Going into any type of not even mental health, but I mean, of course, it does apply to mental health, but there are resources out there and kind of like giving some lists. And just because we give a list, just know that there's still more. There's always more being added weekly, monthly, um, kind of thing like that. So I kind of jumped off that. Sorry.
no, that's fine. Is you guys just remember like any kind of resources we give, we're trying to find the best resources we can for you. Those resources aren't written in stone, and there
Mm-mm.
could be more than what
And they
we're
could
able to
be
find.
the
Yeah,
ones we put out could have ended. They
yeah.
fluctuate from month to month. It just depends. We
But
deal
if
with that.
Yeah, and if she finds something or I find something that's it may be called something similar, something the exact same, or something a little different where you're
Mhm.
at or located, but
Right.
you can see that like they have those type of resources out there, and then you might
Right.
have to do a little digging yourself to find it
Right.
for your location or something like that.
Like
So
I'll help with like tips and tricks on how to find those because that's part of my job now. And it's just a good thing to know because you never know at any time you may need one of those resources, and that's what they're there for. But if you don't know about them, or most people think there's not resources, you just got to deal with it. When in reality, there are things out there to help.
yeah,
Not always, but there are things to help.
yeah, definitely. It's always good to know to know as much information as you can when you're in those type of situations when you need this stuff. It's better to know more than not enough. So
Yes.
but as for this video. I don't know that there's much more to cover unless you have anything else, babe.
Not right offhand, no. Not unless there's something else you want me to disclose.
No, I don't know if we need to be doing any of that. Uh, well, I guess I'll kick you out of the room and I'll close it off. And
Good thing. Don't forget to edit.
well, I definitely will have to do that at the beginning because you had the TV.
We're a little bit of a mess, so it's
Yeah, I had
okay.
the TV
We'll
going and
figure it out.
everything else. It was good. Gosh,
Yeah.
but uh, kick you out. You're out of here. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. We appreciate you checking out this video, and hopefully you can get some good resources and stuff in our next video. Check us out and like, share, sub, and let's make those YouTube gods happy and make the algorithm happy. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys, and peace. Woo.